Hey, you guys, welcome back to our live. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 13, episode 5. So,
I'm
yeah,
Crystal Lynette, and that's Misha Allen,
yeah.
as you know.
Okay, so first things first, let's just jump into it. Let's start with Michaela and Zach. What are your thoughts on them?
Okay, as we predicted, Zach has COVID. And it just seemed like Michaela was inconsiderate. She was inconsiderate, and I get it. This is an inconvenience. A lot of people have COVID right now, and it's sprung on them, and it has definitely inconvenienced their life to put it lightly. But to mentioning the bathing suits, I brought all these bathing suits for you, and I don't want to spend my honeymoon. I want to spend my honeymoon with my husband and stuff like that. That he's already a sensitive guy. We already know that,
Right.
and so this is not making him feel better. This is not making the situation better, and they've apparently made the choice for her to go home and for him to stay in quarantine here, which is fine. But I really did think about it. I said, why didn't she stay in was it the Keys? Why didn't she stay there? Because she could have just gotten another hotel room. I did think when they first talked about it, and she's by the window, and I was like, one, that does not even look like 6 feet, but okay, that's one thing. And
Right.
she's already pitching a little bit of a fit. She's already doing that. Um, I just thought she was inconsiderate, and he's already extra sensitive. But I also thought she could have been in another room, waited to quarantine in another room. Because I know, because my brother had had COVID. He had coronavirus, and it was very touch and
Mhm.
go. But his wife, my sister-in-law, was actually there in the house. She was dressed up in all kinds of gear, hazmat suit, two masks and everything, but she was there. So I did think that was kind of odd. But she went home. She doesn't really know him, even though they have consummated. So um, I just think this might be the start of whatever we're about to see in the future. That's what I think. I think that we know that that the hurricane is coming, but we don't know why the hurricane is coming, the onslaught of hurricane, and but so I think that this might be the one of the reasons why. So that's going to be very interesting coming up. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I just the first thing I thought about were like wedding vows and sickness and health. And it's been 48 hours and you're already leaving the man. And it didn't make any sense to me because I thought it was if you're exposed to anyone with COVID, quarantine for 14 days. So I was like, why is she leaving and possibly exposing others? Yes, she got a negative test, but she was still exposed to it. So that was like, okay, I don't know if it was production or if it was her, but it seemed like it was led by her because it's like, I'm not getting my way here. I'm not getting what I want here. I might as well go home. And it's kind of like a testament to her, like her character. And it took me back to when I did my first video on the season introducing the couples. I said their reasons for being married don't make sense. Like
Right.
their reasons kind of seem for show. Like even when she's walking down the aisle talking about, I got a husband, blah blah blah, and he's
He's
gorgeous. It's
gorgeous.
like
Yep.
she's in to the show of it all. And it's like how like this your marriage is starting out rough. How are you going to handle it by leaving? So it's, to me it was kind of a testament that this is what happens when you're not going into marriage for the right reasons.
I agree. I think that it was very telling that she was probably pitching a fit. She was probably very vocal about how much of an inconvenience this was to her, and they discussed it and thought it's best that why don't I just go home because I'm not going to feel comfortable here and She has to quarantine though. So I was like, why did she just get another room and or just go sit on the
Mhm.
beach and stuff instead of getting back on the airplane where she can
And
get exposed
exposing all
again?
those people, and it was like it
Exactly.
made no sense.
It made no sense to me, but at the same time, if how are you going to make him feel better if you are, feeling um, saying all of this stuff. You're not going to make
Mhm.
him feel better. He's got to take care of himself. And he had all the symptoms, every symptom he had, my brother had. So I know, I said, he probably physically feels bad, is exhausted. He has to take care of himself, get his immune system back. And she's like, I want to be with my husband and I want to be laid up under my husband. Eh, Not right now. Like, and the thing is, he can make it up to you if he survives this and if he feels better. Of course, we know that he
Right.
does, but you know, it can be touch and go. And I've seen it where they're fine 2 hours later, they're not fine.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
for her to not be considerate to that and show him the more considerate side of her, that was very telling. So, and I think that sometimes and this is what I was saying about Gil and Myrla, sometimes when you see one side of somebody, especially very quickly, that's going to always stick in the back of your head, even if you may see the nicer side of them.
Right.
You don't know when that's going to switch. So that's
I
what
agree.
mhm. Okay.
All
That's
right,
what I
so
think.
Rachel, not Rachel, who Brett and Ryan. That's who it was.
Uh,
Brett
I might
and
fall
yeah,
asleep on you.
right.
Girl,
I
so what's I just think that there is a Shakespeare sonnet going on behind those eyes. There's got to be something going on that he's just not telling us, but he's so closed in. Now we know he wants kids, but I really go back to what we were saying before that does he is he even attracted to her? Because to me, um we know that you can sleep with somebody and not be attracted to them. You know that? We know that for sure. We did not need Chris and Paige to show us that you can sleep with somebody and not be attracted to them. He wants kids. He wants the whatever the statistics 2.75 kids and the whole thing, but he also wants to seem normal to his family. Um but yeah, he talked about kids really quickly. I think she wants to take it slow and really wants to get to know him. But then he does this thing where he shuts down. So she was like, "Well, let's talk about kids. We're getting attracted to each other." And then he's like, change the subject. I want to sleep with my wife. Not until you really make her feel comfortable. And that can happen. They've kissed. That can happen, but not when you shut down like this. No. It's one last thing. Sean was saying something that she could be a sapiosexual because he says that she talks a lot. But to me, and she wants to feel comfortable, and that's how she feels comfortable with speaking. But I'm like, up against somebody like Ryan who doesn't speak at all, she must be sounding like she talks a lot. But she doesn't, to me, she doesn't talk too much. But against Ryan, she probably talks a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree because I was agreeing with what she was saying when she said I want a family. I'm not focused on kids. And she was I kind of picked up because we've been sensing that Ryan's not attracted to Brett, but I kind of picked up this episode. Brett's not really attracted to Ryan as well. Maybe her attraction might be a little more than Ryan's, but I picked up because she said she keeps trying to ask him these questions to build that emotional connection. But like the sister of Ryan already said, he dates women with no substance. He's not ever going to be able to give her that deep emotional connection. So I think she'll always be kind of searching for something that's not there. That's
Right.
never really going to happen with her.
And you and I know that we as women, we can become more attracted to somebody.
Mhm.
Men, their first initial, they're like immediate attraction. But If somebody is somebody that I did not think attractive, but he's funny, he's engaging, he's all of these things, then he's more becomes more attractive. But if he does not, come out of this shell, her attraction is going to really go way down. So I definitely think he needs to really come out of this shell because I
Yeah.
think she's more attractive, just like you said.
Mhm.
But if he just stops talking, if he just, well, he hasn't really spoke. If he doesn't show more personality, then she will stop being attracted to him. It's gonna
Yeah,
totally
because
end.
I was literally watching him because it's like they had that dinner, they go to the
Mm-hmm.
massage. He never once cracked a smile.
Yep,
I'm like,
I noticed that.
how do you know this man is into you? And then when they're at the pool with the other couples, I was like, y'all ain't have no business asking nobody nothing, getting in nobody's business because y'all's connection's not even right. So
Right.
y'all need to chill out and just sit back.
And what's funny is I was watching him too, and I said, "Is she?" Because we were talking about this physical touch, right?
Mhm.
She's got her arm around him. I said, "Okay, he does have his arm on her leg. He does. He is like close and touching her. So maybe it is there, but I don't. But that doesn't mean anything really. That's
It's
it,
just it's he obviously is sexually attracted to her. He would
right?
have sex with her, but do they have a connection? No.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think it'll go anything beyond that. And I think not Ryan, Brett is trying to like itching on for some sort of connection. She might misread that as he is into her. He's coming around. As a friend said, you just got to yank his chain. And so maybe I think that's it too. I think that's why maybe people are saying that she's talking too much, but I think maybe she's trying to listen to the advice as well and kind of pull stuff out of him because that's what his family and friends told her to do. But yeah, at some point, I just hope she kind of sees it for what it is.
And if you keep trying to yank somebody's chain and they are not responding, you're going to stop.
Hmm.
You're not going to keep yanking somebody's chain and they're not reciprocating. You're not going to want to keep doing that. So, yeah, the massage, the dinner, he at least he said, "Okay, well, I'm encouraged." She said she wants kids, but that's it. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. I think that there's all kinds of stuff going on behind the stress in the eyes, and everybody notices it. It's not just like the
Yes.
people on the show's not noticing it, but the audience is truly
Yeah.
noticing whatever is going
Something's not
on.
right with that dude.
Yes, something's not right. Yeah. Mm-mm, mm-mm,
So
something's
I'm
not right.
I'm ready for Gayla Myrla.
You
I
want
want
to
to get in to
Girl,
them
yes, yes. Well,
because
you should have saw my little my thing on YouTube today. Go ahead, because I saw yours. Go
yeah.
ahead, you go.
So I just really saw like even it's I have even more smoke for him because I rewatched it and I started picking up on things because he has this passive aggressiveness about him that I don't like. And it's like coming out this episode. Yes, Myrla has been complaining, or, at the wedding, before the wedding, yes, I would say she is complaining. But at the resort, it's a retirement home. The food's not right. It seems like she asked for the almond milk and they still got it wrong. So it seems like there's things that aren't right. And so I think it kind of reminded me of Brie and Vince, how Brie's assertiveness came off as rude or this or that. So I feel like Myrla, in some situations, she's being assertive. She's just speaking what's on her mind. And she's already said she's high maintenance. She's used to a certain lifestyle. So I just think at this point, I feel like Gil I don't know if the word is antagonizing, but I feel like he's playing on that because to her face and around her to say, oh, well, my wife's picky, but I'm taking notes, and to act like you're going along with it, like you're okay with it, and then to go to the pool and compare her to a toddler, it's yeah, no, that's not cool. Then to go and ask everyone who's kissing, who's in that, and then now you want to go back to Myrla and say, hey, everybody else is kissing. Well, I would have liked to kiss too. Well, I would have and I was like, are you the toddler? Cause that, and then so it's, I don't know, so many things are sticking out to me. The whole blanket versus a bracelet, which I feel like he's trying to highlight her being materialistic. Then we get to the airplane ride. She told you she gets motion sickness, which I have been there, and that physically makes you ill. You could literally pass out from that. So
Misha,
to, huh?
she got off the plane. She was fine. I know.
Yeah, but
Motion
my
sickness
whole
is a
thing
real
is
thing,
to
but she was fine. I'm sorry. I was
to
trying not to
say
interrupt
it's
you, but
for
then I couldn't hear
her,
you. Go ahead.
but to say it's for her, and it's like this couple thing, and she does not like that, and then to try to paint it as if she doesn't get on the plane, she's being high maintenance again, she's being complicated again, when she's already communicated she don't like that. So I didn't like that. I don't know, I see Gil this episode. I saw Gil for, I don't know. There's this passive aggressiveness. I would even call it fakeness, because it seems like his motives. I don't know. I don't know. I could see his motives this episode, and yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna
So
say.
I will start with the smoke. I will start with the smoke, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because I will
Okay.
start with the smoke for Mr. Gill. I agree with you that how dare you? Yes, your wife is a complainer. I agree. All of those things. But you should have never talked about her behind her back. Okay.
Right.
Absolutely not. So I will start there. So you go down to the other couples. You're meeting with the other couples. You go down there to the pool side, and it seemed like in the beginning he was like, "Okay, hey, how are you doing? Nice to meet you all." But so how was your guys' wedding? Has anybody kissed? Again, none of them have ever been through this situation before. So let me gauge. So did you guys kiss? Was there any like physical touch? Was there any affection? Yeah, we kissed a little bit at the altar. Okay, okay. And then he should have stopped at, oh, well, my wife's name is Myrla, and she's a little bit particular, but we haven't kissed yet, but it's only day 3. He should have stopped there. Never
Mm-mm.
talk about your wife behind her back. And then, yes, he called her a baby. It's almost like he needed to vent. But how dare you in front of what, 8 other people or how many other people? If he needed to get something off his chest or whatever, he could have taken one of the guys aside and asked, or just said, "Hey, I don't know how I'm going to navigate this, whatever." But he should
One
have never done
thing,
that.
one thing I
Absolutely not.
forgot.
I will agree with you on that. But
One thing I forgot I
okay,
want
go
to
ahead.
add is that the man is supposed to be the protector and the provider. He
She is
he
not,
clearly
but she doesn't
isn't
want him
the provider. He did not protect her. He
to.
laid her out on a grill in front of everybody. That's all
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
say.
That's all you're going to say. Okay. Okay. I will give you that. But at the same time, I believe that Myrla doesn't even want them to be the man. She doesn't want him to be she still thinks that they're strangers. She does not want him to be the husband yet.
Mhm.
And honestly, if they keep going in this direction, they never will be because she's like, we're strangers. She has said this more than one time in a row. But well, let me go back because I got additional smoke for him. I will.
Mhm.
Second smoke is if somebody tells you that they don't like surprises, that is a real thing. So I think that he should not have done that. Or
Yeah.
because you know how these last 3 days have gone, these last 72 hours have gone with her, then He should have just taken it slow. I think that a boat ride is that might have been too much for her. He should have done something more simple. I will give you that. I actually think that's me all the way. Like that was a beautiful scenery. I would have,
Mhm.
but to him, to him, it was supposed to be something fun. I got a surprise for you. This is our fun thing, right? But did you see her body language in that boat?
Yeah, she
In
was
that
like,
she was like this. And he was like, okay, and even if he wanted to comfort her, she wouldn't let him. He had his
but
arm
I
around
feel
her.
like he didn't notice it. I feel
Oh
like he
no, no, no.
didn't
He
like
had his
he
arm
still
around
had
her.
his arm around her, like
No,
I'm
he was
enjoying
like
myself.
caressing her. He was caressing her arm and like trying to ease it. But to me, she's been so tense and so uptight this whole time. Now to me, Myrla has been very vocal about the type of person that she is. I like the finer things in life, right? Yes, you like the finer things in life, and I like expensive stuff. Okay, great. But at the same time, uh, it is what it, I hate that saying it is what it is, but you didn't pay for this hotel. You didn't this is the resort we're on. She got up in the morning complaining. This is the continental breakfast. This is the same breakfast that everybody else got. Bow and Johnny had the same continental breakfast. The redhead and the quiet one, what were we call? I don't remember our name for him, but they got the same breakfast. This is not this. This is nothing new. It's a continental breakfast. Just say, okay, well, there's no protein on the plate, just eat it or don't eat it and then say, hey, can we go get something else to eat a little later? That's what I would have done, because it is what they all got the same breakfast. It's a continental breakfast. I do think I would have wanted some protein too. True. But that's the breakfast they gave you. So little later, hey, let's go get something more. I need some more sustenance. That's it. But to me, constantly complaining about when you first wake up in the morning complaining, gosh, and I mean his eyes rolling. He's rolling his eyes first thing in the morning. He's like, it's a continental breakfast, and that was a big piece of bread. That would have been too much for me too. But just say, let's go explore Miami or the Keys and let's go get some breakfast. That's what they could have done. But she starts complaining first thing in the morning. And so also Um, you start complaining first thing in the morning. Oh, is this almond milk? Can you taste it for me and make sure it's almond milk? He's like, how am I supposed to know? But to me, you can look at almond milk and know that it's almond milk.
Right.
But and you know that what vitamin D milk and almond milk looks like. But it was constant. You guys were supposed to bring me foamed almond milk and you didn't. And I said, oh gosh, it's and so to me, he's already heard it for the last 48 hours, and then she wakes up in the morning and complaining and talking about the breakfast, um and then they start talking and she's like, well, he said, how has it been for you this, since the beginning of this last 3 days? And she's like, well, it's been an 8. And then she's like, well, you probably think it's a 10. And that's because misery loves company. She wants him to be miserable with her. I'm sorry. And he's like, why would you? To me, I was like, so are you saying that you're a 10? Or are you thinking the whole experience is a 10? Because he's just not somebody that's just going to just dwell on it. Okay, this is what we got. Let's change it up. Let's see what else we can do. Okay. Um, so she's working on her honeymoon. She's supposed to be making all kinds of money. And I was like, is she going to come downstairs and just do a couple of phone calls? No, she literally stayed up there the whole time. So you're up there while he's there socializing with the other people, with the other couples, and you're working on your honeymoon. To me, I was like, this is just obvious that you don't want to spend time with everybody else. You've already said you're moody in the morning. We've already noticed how moody you are in the morning. Stop being so moody and get your bathing suit on. Find the pool, because apparently the beach isn't close by because it's the Golden Girls set. So agreed. But make the best of it. It's only going to be a week. If she's at least a little bit pleasant about it, then he can say, hey, next time I'll make it up to you. But if in 48 hours she's constantly complaining, then then that's all he's going to hear. He's never going to know, he's never going to think she's not happy about anything. So let's go to the dinner, because the dinner was very telling as well. Um, so we've only been together 3 days, and you want me to buy you a Cartier bracelet? So okay. He was just trying to get a gauge. He's been asking her, "What do you like? What kind of?" He asked her 2 questions. Your past relationships. What did you learn? I learned that I'm steadfast in my opinions. I learned that I want somebody to spend time with me and to do things with. I. Okay, what did you learn from those experiences? What did you learn that you will put up with, you won't put up with? And no, there was nothing that she more, a little bit more than that. There was nothing more of substance. I also noticed that she really hasn't asked him anything about him. She has not, she asked him once when they finally got the macaroons. She said, "So you asked me earlier about my past relationships. What about yours?" He said he told her about his past relationships. He was pretty honest and vocal. Said, "I haven't had a serious relationship in 4 years." She judged him. But I was like, wait a minute. I remember in your intro that it's been about 4 or 5 years for you too. So she pulled a Haley and Jacob, because it was 7 years for Haley and 10 years for Jacob. So let's go back to the bracelet. And she thinks she knows her love language. Sister don't know what her love language is. So she said, so he asked her, "Well, tell me more. You want somebody to spend time with you, but then what about what else? What else do you like?" And she like, "I like gifts." So he said, "So if somebody made you now, I'll give him, yes, when you think quilt, you think age, you think my grandmother. Um, but if I made it, if I actually sewed darned a quilt for you, which takes my time and patience, or a Cartier bracelet." I want the Cartier bracelet. She just wants the money. And that just showed him how shallow she was. If your daughter made you, what do you call those macaroni like pictures out of pasta shells and everything? It's a thing. But at the same time, you're going to display it proudly because it's something that she did for you, right? So I'm just like, she doesn't even know
But that's
herself
your
yet.
child, and Gil is a stranger.
He
They
said,
don't have a
"Okay, let's get to
connection.
that." She keeps
They're
saying,
ill
"You're my
matched.
stranger." She's
Uh-huh.
not breaking down those walls. She's not just coming down those walls a little bit. No, we're strangers. We're strangers. They're going to keep being strangers if she doesn't let him in a little bit. She's going to have to let him in a little bit. And I do feel, and I hear what you're saying about, yes, she's been very vocal about her liking the finer things in life, but at the same time, I don't think she has been honest, because I'm not hard to please. I'm really easygoing. I'm not high maintenance. Yes, you are. Just be honest and own it. Just honestly own, I'm high maintenance. I want a Cartier, and she said this is gonna have to change. It's not the best ring, it's from production, but come on now. She could at least Bree waited till the finale to say that. Okay, and
Yeah.
we all knew Bree was not gonna put up with that ring, but at least she
Mhm.
waited till the finale to say that. This girl waited till day 3, like, and to him. And what I also noticed, and I know you said something in your show, that he may not have a lot, and I actually think that he probably does. He makes good money, and he's probably very established, and he's probably taking care of his money, but at the same time, he's already gotten in his head how much he idealizes money. So he's quieting down about how established he is, because I've seen this again, an old show where a football player, he was single. He used to tell women, "I'm a school teacher." because he didn't want them to come at him for the wrong reasons. And then he said, I
Mm.
got found out one time when we went, I was at some club and I told somebody I was a school teacher, and they were like, how are you driving this car? You know, but he would tell women that he's a school teacher because they're already coming at him with money. The day three, you want to mention Cartier bracelets
Uh,
and everything. So I think, and to me, just own it. Say, listen, I like the finer things. And she's, come on, you're 35 something, 30, between 33 and 35, and you haven't stopped saying, I'm a whiner, I'm a complainer. You're doing that too much. And so, yes, it's not the
I
best.
I think if Gil had more means and he's putting on, he would have knew what a macaroon was. He wouldn't have
He
been
probably does know what a
so.
macaroon is. He just doesn't
He
eat
ate that
macaroons.
cookie like that was his first time in life trying a macaroon. Talking
No, he
about,
probably,
oh, it's just basically this, right? Huh? Well, I just prefer chocolate. And again, I feel
she's
like
already giving him the
he
impression.
he has a motive. He's trying to over humbleize himself, make himself seem more humble,
And I think
and
she
make
has a
her
motive.
seem like a certain like overly high maintenance, which yes, she is high
No,
maintenance. But even with the question about the bracelet and the blanket, this woman won't even touch you. This woman in flannel pajamas. Of course she's going to pick a diamond bracelet over the quilt. And
so
when
I'm
you
gonna go
say
back
quilt,
to this.
and when she's like crochet, because this woman is probably used to 500, 5,000 count thread sheets. So
So I,
I don't know. I think they're
I
ill matched, and
of
I
course,
feel like Gil has a motive
I think
in
she has a
at
motive.
this point in making himself look better than her. That's what I'm picking up.
And I actually think that she has a motive to make herself look like she's better than. And I'll tell you what I also think. I think that as we also uh, saw in her past when she was growing up, they both have, you know, come from humble beginnings. Let's just be nice about it and say they came from humble beginnings, right? She's probably come from a time where, you know, going to school, all the other girls had expensive stuff, and she came and she did not have any expensive um, clothes and everything, and she really needs to feel like that money is her money walks in before her. She needs to, that
Mhm.
makes her, so a lot of people um that have come from humble beginnings, they need to feel seen. And I think Tia Maria was saying this, they need to feel seen. So money makes them feel seen. And I think that
Mhm.
that's because she doesn't need, and we've talked about this before, own it, know yourself and your self-worth, and you don't need to feel seen. You are already
Mhm.
seen. You're already a good person. But her money walks in before her. She feels like she needs to feel seen. Because and I don't like macaroons. I've had them before, but I've had praline. I said, well, let me just try a different flavor. You know, he probably has had macaroons or whatever, but every time she's almost like she's combative on purpose. It's the weirdest thing. It's I was like, why are you asking these questions? But I also feel like when they were talking um at the dinner, and he kept reestablishing I would have wanted a kiss at the altar and everything. And to me, I'm like, you're now, to a point, I do think because he's so frustrated, he is getting petty and he needs to stop. So I will give you that. Keep
Yeah, I
bringing up
think
the
he
kiss,
was
stop bringing up the
pushing it.
kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will agree with you. I think he's getting frustrated. So he keeps bringing up the stuff. Stop bringing up the kiss. It's over. But at the same time, when he brought up the kiss, and she's like, this is very obvious that this girl is not interested. But you're a guy. Guys are like that. Guys want to, you know, and I think that she has had situations where guys have either taken advantage of her, and she thinks that her acting like this is her motive. Her acting like this is going to get him to respect her. That's what
Mm-hmm.
she thinks, and it's
I
not.
see that.
This is not going to get him to respect you. You being standoffish, not opening up is not, or him having to pull stuff out of you. Just like their conversation about how they're about their fathers. He was very honest immediately. She asked, he told her. He had to wait till the next day, and then there was a lot of holes in the story. And I said, why does he have to pull stuff out of you? It's constant that he's constantly have to pull stuff out of you. And I think that is her motive. She thinks, and I think it may have been previous relationships that she has felt that she has been taken advantage of. So I gotta walk around looking like this, looking like money, and then he won't take advantage of me and he'll respect me more. But I also think that she's had situations where other women, or in school or whatever, have made her feel like she doesn't have anything. So she's had to um act like she's got to spend all this money to feel like she's something, and she doesn't. So I think that she's got motive. I almost think that she's doing this on purpose. I'm like, this girl is breaking him down every little thing. And the only two smoke, I will definitely give him smoke for talking about her. But even if you are having the worst time of your life, just say, you know what, we're taking it slow, but she's a little bit particular, or just say, you know what, it's the only day three, it'll be cool. He should have never done that. But and the plane ride, I was like, I think that's a real thing that people don't like surprises. So
Yeah.
so Tia just said something. I don't know. I know I've been on my rant, but at the same time, you were just like really
Yeah, I
biting for
agree
her,
too.
and I don't think so. What did she say, Crystal? I think she's behaving this way, the way she is, because she does not like him. Yeah,
Yes, I
she doesn't
agree.
want to be nice to someone. Yeah, I think I agree. I don't think that she likes him. I don't think that she wants to be. I don't think that. I think that if I give him an inch, then he'll start to like me too, and I'm not feeling it. And she doesn't want to feel it. She doesn't want to break down those barriers. Yeah, but I do think that she should just be a little bit, at least a little bit more pleasant. If you don't like somebody, it's just not pleasant. I'm saying she's just not even pleasant at all. And I honestly think that misery loves company. I will say this again. When she was in the bed and he was talking about, oh, she said it's an 8, and she's like, I bet you think it's a 10 because you just want everything to be hearts and flowers and you think everything's great. He's like, no, I don't think everything's great. I just don't think the need to complain about it. What I am interested in, and this is my last point, if this is how things is going during the honeymoon, when we get to them having to go to each other's houses, and
Child.
this girl, if she has an issue with this man's house, who I think, and I know that he has a house that he's probably worked hard to get, and he doesn't have a palatial estate. He probably has a pretty nice house, and she takes issue with it. Ooh, that is not going to go over well. So that's my last point. What do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think she just doesn't like him. She's already been turned off by things from the beginning. And I think she is a woman who knows what she wants. It might be shallow, it might be a little too much, but she I feel like she's at a point where she realizes, okay, he's not motivated by money. He has dogs. I don't like dogs. I think she's kind of taking these mental notes. But I will say, I did notice she took the messy bun out her head and she looks like she's putting on a little bit more makeup. I don't know if that means that she is possibly liking him more or slowly opening up to him. But yeah, I just think she knows they're not a good match. That's not the man that she wanted for herself. But at the same time, I don't understand why people like that come on this show. Like
Exactly. I
it's
don't
yeah,
understand if, and to me, you want to be married, but you won't compromise at all. Like, this is how I'm going to be, and why should I change? you're going to have to change a little bit. And just like Brianna, she said, I, I'm I'm gonna change a little bit. You're like, I'm not gonna change how I am. Come on, you're going to have to give a little bit. You're gonna have to compromise. You're having somebody else in your space, another human in your space. That you're going to have to compromise a little bit. But yeah, I do
Mhm.
think that that house visit was going to be a disaster. She probably doesn't even own it. I don't know. I don't want to say that. But like if she wants a high rise, or she's staying in a high rise to look the part, and it's not necessary. You know, just to me, when somebody says they're, and it's so interesting. I don't think it's that he's not motivated by money, or that he doesn't have money, or that he doesn't have anything. You made the point about his eyebrows. I think that those type of things, like maintenance, it costs, but he's not somebody that needs the top of the line, like the next thing. He's not waiting for the next shoe to come out on goat. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mhm.
not that's what he means by he's not motivated by money. But I do think that he knows you need money to live and to look good, and he does, um, want to take care of himself, and he does like to
Mhm.
travel and stuff like that. I just don't think him saying he's not motivated by money. It wasn't saying that he doesn't want anything in life. That's not what I got from it. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. I do. That's exactly what I think. I think she's trying to make up for being the poor kid. I do think that, and she thinks that looking rich is the same way as being rich in your mind, body, and soul, and it's not. And it's not that card. Like, you know, one of my prized possessions is my grandmother's quilt in my closet right now. You know,
Mhm.
so those little things are more important. And it's a quilt, but she was 90. Oh gosh, yeah, 96 when she passed. So, but those, and I think that that's what he was trying to say. Yeah, if as your husband, if I, took the time to go out and do something for you, or you just want the most expensive Cartier bracelet that this, that's on the shelf. I want the bracelet. And I think, yeah, that's what I mean. So I do think like you said, I think that I think that I almost think that she's doing it on purpose. You think that he's doing? I definitely think he's getting annoyed though. I definitely think that he's,
Yeah.
because of how this last 3 days has been. I hope he stops with the pettiness. He cannot do what he did last week. He
Yeah.
cannot do that. He can't be talking about her behind her, like, to the other people. That's just crazy.
I agree. Yeah, that's my biggest issue is talking to her and talking to production as if you're on board and as if you're okay with her pickiness. You're willing to work along with it. And I've said before on the show, mentioning things early in the process. So if her complaining is getting to you, if it's really a turnoff to you, then you should communicate that with her. But to say I'm making a list of the things she doesn't like so that I can make my wife happy, like you're trying to go along with it, and then to go and tell the friends that she's a toddler, she complains, she's peculiar. It's not right at all.
Oh
So
no,
that
I think
makes
he's I hear
hmm,
what you're saying, because in his talking head, he said, "Oh well, like I finally got her to smile, and I'm just gonna keep trying to figure out what she doesn't like and what she likes." I think to I almost feel like he's trying to pull a Jacob, like he's trying to um be nice and to fold, and that's what I'm worried about. Like he's gonna almost, to suit her, lose a little bit of himself, just to lose his personality, just to make her happy. And that's what I got from it. I don't think he was I do think he was kind of lying to himself to get through this process,
Yeah.
and so I think, to me, yeah, I just think that she was complaining a lot, and I
Yeah.
think that she was doing it on purpose too. Yeah, it
I
was
just
just a.
think he's a little two-faced with it.
I think
And
she's
that
two
kind of
faced. I'm sorry.
I think she's been honest that she's yeah, I there's moments where she says she's not high maintenance, but her attitude has been consistent to me as far
Consistently.
as she said she's a whiner. She's like, I feel like her attitude as far as complaining, as far, I don't condone it. I don't think it's right. But I think she's been more consistent than Gil, especially this episode, where you kind of see the switch when he's around different people. And the fact that you find out that the other couples are kissing, the other couples are doing more than you, and then you want to come and try to light a fire under her to try to get her to do what everybody else is doing, that was a red flag to me too.
And I think that
Because
he
why
did
are
that.
you so concerned about others? And it kind of, it might be different, but I see kind of a people pleasing maybe with Myrla. She wants people to see her as rich, successful, high maintenance, this type of woman. But then I also see it with Gil, where he wants people to see him in a certain light as well.
No, I think that he did that. He said one that see now I don't think she's being consistent. I think that she's saying one thing. She's saying I'm not high maintenance. I'm easy to please, but then she's like, I need foamed almond milk, and or I'm easy to please.
But
I'm not high
almond milk's
maintenance.
not
I'm not.
really high maintenance though. Some
No,
people
that but
just can't drink dairy.
yeah, no, but then she could have gone down and got the almond milk or whatever. But to me, she says one thing and does another. She wants to come off like she's this good person or she's nice and sweet. But then I'm not high maintenance. She complained the whole time and then says I'm
I
not high
don't think
maintenance.
so.
Yeah, she
I
did.
think
She
she
is
thinks
saying she's
bratty is being cute. There's some women
and
that
that's what
think
I'm saying.
having
It's
an attitude
not.
is being cute. So I think she's been
So
consistent in that because I think maybe the
I
men she's dated before, they're
and
okay
it's
with
an
that. They think
emotional
it's cute.
manipulation.
So I think that's maybe what she thinks, but I definitely think she thinks I don't think she knows that people are turned off by that. I think she thinks by doing that, it makes her look more high maintenance.
Well, it does make her look more high maintenance, but I think that maybe, and that's what I'm saying, she's manipulating because she thinks that if I sound whiny and if I sound like this, then I can get what I want. But
Mm-hmm. Okay.
honestly, that's going to have him shut down. Like that's not going to work with everybody. That might work with a
Mm-hmm.
rich man, or that might work with. And honestly, some men that have a lot of money, they'll give you what they want, but then they'll find that
Yeah.
emotional connection somewhere else. So
Right.
they'll give you what you did. You'll get the Cartier bracelet, but are you going to get
Mm-hmm.
longevity? So to
Mm-hmm.
me,
Right.
she may have been bratty with other relationships, or she may have come off with that attitude in other relationships, and it's not going to work. And I think that she wants Gil to be just as bratty, or she wants Gil to be just as attitudinal, and she wants Gil to be just as miserable. And I, as you said, you think he's manipulated the situation. I think she is for
Mm.
uh for to keep doing it. And I'm like, why does she keep? You already see that, okay, this isn't the best place. You're right. I will give you that. But then, so Tia just said something. The men she has dated have not been okay with her behavior. That's why she hasn't had a serious relationship in years. That is why she is on the show. And I think that she's in the same predicament that Gil is, because I thought she said it's been 4 years as well. She's had 4 serious relationships, but it's been about 4 years. And they probably did put up with it for a time. They put up with it till they couldn't put up with it anymore. And they're like, oh no, we
Right.
got to stop dating her. So I do think that, yeah, it's fine. And don't get me wrong, it's totally fine to like the finer things, to like expensive things. It's absolutely fine to want to pay for, trips and all of those things, but it's not, but I do think now that you are sharing your life or sharing your um, relationship, sharing your bed, sharing certain things with certain people or with another man, uh, you're going to have to like communicate a little bit more and open up and compromise. You're going to have to. And she's like, I don't want to change. Why do I have to change? No, that's not okay. That she needs to own it. Just say, yeah, I am a little tough to get along with. That's what's happened to me. That's why I'm here. I've been tough to get along with. That's why I'm here. So yeah, but we can agree to disagree. We're gonna see, and it's so funny, Tia. I almost feel like you kind of like we said, we saw a little bit the other side of Gil, and because of how things have gone in the last 3 days, this other side of Gil, I'm really hoping that he doesn't become a gossip and just as bratty and
He
petty.
was a little
That's
feminine. He was being a
well,
little feminine.
I, I was saying to Misha, I said, or to Tia, I was like, okay, now you just sound like a gossip because no, you should not be talking about your situation with other people. If you're having such an issue with it, take one of the guys aside and talk to them, or just take 5 minutes or something else. But do not do what you just did. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's my concern is that he keeps and let me ask you a question because she said in her talking head that we keep needling each other. We have this like relationship where we keep the back and forth. I don't think that this is funny. I don't think, and I think that he's being serious. Um, Part of it is, as you guys said, passive aggressive, but he has been very honest. You are high maintenance. He has said you are high maintenance, and then sometimes he'll say stuff like, "At least you're not a Karen, Gil." Like, I do think that. So, do you think that he's being uh just as bratty? I know you said feminine, but do you think that he is being do you think it's going to get worse if she keeps doing like this? Do you think that he's going to the other side of Gail's going to come out?
Yeah, I think he's yeah, I don't think it's bratty, him per se. I think it's just a little gossipy, a little messy. That's what I see it as being. And yeah, I think it can get worse if he's already doing this. If he already knows she doesn't like something and he's he knows she doesn't like something. If she's communicated to them, she gets motion sickness and he's still taking her on the plane. I think these little subtle gestures that people aren't picking up on, I think they will get louder and bigger. So I think this is just the beginning for Gil, unless he really sits down. Because if you hear from a friend that somebody called you a toddler,
Oh
said
no,
you're acting
it's
like
not. It's gonna be
that's
bad.
that is so like that's so messy. So the fact that the fact that he's doing that, it's just gonna cause more drama. So I just think hopefully if this complaining is really getting to him, because it seems like it might be, because I can't really tell, because it's like, do you just want to have something to talk about with the friends, or is it really bothering? If it's really bothering him, he needs to sit down and have a discussion with her about it instead of saying, oh, you're high maintenance, but at least you're not this, at least you're not that. That's giving her leeway to continue.
No, I
So
do
I
think it's gonna make it worse. Like if you're she's complaining. She's not, you're not happy with it. And I do think he has been showing it because I was saying on my thing, on my channel, I said we need to, and T and I were saying we need to have like a game and we need to count the complaints, count how many times she complains in one episode.
Child,
I'd also said we
take a
also need
shot
to,
every time.
yeah, that's why I said we need to have a drinking game. We also need to have a drinking game. How many times Gil rolls his eyes? So he has been showing it. He's just rolling his eyes, but being pleasant about it because he's trying to be nice and he's trying to not come off rude. And he is still a black man on TV, and he's really, but at the same time, don't do what you're doing as well. I don't think that's not what you should do either, is become a gossip either. I think
Mhm.
that so the way Gil is acting in in combative to her is not good. Like you shouldn't, you're not happy the way she's acting. But uh don't talk about her behind her back. That's not going to help the
Mhm.
situation. It's actually knowing who Myrla is and who we've already assessed who Myrla is. She's not going to like that. That's literally
Yeah.
what's going to make it worse. That's exactly what's going to make it worse. So I think, um, but I do think that Myrla's the one that's being fake because you say you're one person, but then you act a different way. I'm like, then why didn't you just go outside and meet the ladies? You haven't seen them in a week or whatever, or and meet the other couples and say, hey, I got to go upstairs to make a couple of phone calls, but I'll be back down. She has not come down to socialize because she was moody, because she
Mhm.
doesn't like mornings. Just pick yourself up. Misery does not always love company, so that's what I think. So, and
Yeah.
we can agree to disagree. We're going to see this next couple
Yeah.
of weeks.
We'll see. We
We'll
gonna
see.
see.
Hmm. I mean, we need to have drinks next time. You guys have drinks,
Mhm.
or when you guys come back in the live, we'll do a counter as to how many complaints.
Ciao. Okay, so let's get into who's next? Rachel and Jose. Let's get
Rachel and Jose.
into Rachel and Jose. I don't know. Okay. The toothbrush thing was a bit much for me. I get it. But I think I'm wondering, I don't know, is their love language off a bit? Like they don't really understand it. But I don't understand Rachel always thinking his gestures are control and she can't be independent if he feeds her a piece of cake. She can't be independent if he does this or that. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what her upbringing was or her dating life was that she feels like this need to fight for independence and to fight. I'm like, just let the man love you. Like, but what I will say, I do love that they're making the best of this trip. Obviously, it's this is not a honeymoon retreat or whatever you want to call it. But I see that they're making the best of it. They're truly enjoying each other's time, which I like. And I think they do have a couple opposites, but I would say that's what I like about them is that they are making the best of it and just really making it about them and not about everything else.
Yes, I do. Well, to your point, Jose is laying it on pretty thick. When he kisses her, he grabs her like around here or like right here. So
Yeah.
he does, but
Some
I
women
do think
like that. I don't know if
I
I
think
would
that she,
starting
yeah,
out. Like,
and I think that she's waiting to. I think that she's truly trying to see where her place is. But I also think there's some insecurities there with Rachel, and she's waiting for the other two to drop. And Tia Maria is in the chat, and she agrees with you. I do too. As far as listen, he's trying to love you. He's trying to, and when they were doing the feeding each other, I was like, this is just romantic times. The only times, at
mhm.
least the times that the camera got, were the cake at the wedding and chocolate covered strawberries. Those are romantic times. And now, if he takes a handful of mashed potatoes at dinner, then then you got something to complain about. But or like you guys are going to get a coffee. Let me give you your cup. No, no. But to me, I think that that's like his prelude to getting romantic.
Mhm.
So I think that she needs to just relax on that. But I also, and so now when they were eating and you could tell it was the funniest thing because he was like trying like inching towards her mouth when she was taking a bite. I said he wants you to feed him, like that's his thing. So he at least was honest and he said it. He said, I want you to feed me. Like I said, okay. I said, at least he's speaking up. He pulled a Johnny and he's at least says,
Yeah.
this is what I like. So she tried it once and it wasn't so bad. Um, but she did say a little bit about her past history and with her father and everything. I think in certain relationships previously, she has had an issue with trying to prove herself. She's not just what her father's shown her. Like my mother told me the same thing, like have your own bank account.
Yeah.
But and my mother's been married 3 times, but and just because of certain things, have your own bank account. But I also think in the last relationship, she has said that she doesn't want to be put in that situation where she loses herself so much that she just is blind to certain things. So she's like, I need to feel like I have a place in here. But I also like, sweetheart, I think that you're overthinking this and
Yeah.
you need to just relax. Just like on the fishing trip was actually really sweet. And she's like, I want to catch my own fish. Go ahead, catch your own fish, but at least let him show you how to do it. If you don't know how to fish, let the man show you how to fish. So yeah, you gotta let him do it, and he does. He wants to be the man of the relationship. He wants to do that for you. Now, I will say, like, it probably is a good idea, because he is pretty much more established. I don't think that
Mhm.
her credit score is horrible, but it does sound like she's still got student loans and certain things. So let him help you, but let him know that I don't want you to do this for me, but I want you to help me, let him help you with it. So I think this is going to be very interesting because she's already trying to establish something that this man is all in. This is almost her sabotaging herself. She needs to get out of her own way a little bit. She needs to.
Yeah.
He is laying it on pretty thick, though. He is laying it on thick.
He is.
He is laying it on thick. He's letting her know. But I also don't know that she's had a guy laid on thick with her before. And
Hmm.
also, I will agree with you on this, Sophie. Why did she bring up trouble with finances and complain? That was annoying. She could have just said, let's go over them together at home. I totally agree with you because that's already given this man a red flag. He is already organized in his head. Like he's probably a human calculator. Day 3, day 4, you're already telling him this. They need to sit down. Let's talk. You need to go see his house. And also, I think that he'll let you be the woman of the house. He really wants to have that together. But I totally agree with you. Don't ever tell a man, um, and I was going to say in the beginning stages of a relationship, yes, they are married, but this is still the beginning of stages of their relationship. Don't
Right.
ever tell a man that you have trouble with finances and you have all this debt and that you're like, when she first said, well, I do take care of my finances, but sometimes I'm like yellow and I want to do, certain things. She should have just left it right
Yeah.
there. Don't say anything else. That's it. And just wait. Don't say anything else. I
I
totally
I
agree.
agree on that. Like bringing up the credit card for a trip was a bit much. You should have kept that under wraps. But if I
Mm-hmm.
was with a man who I knew was better with his finances than me, then yeah, I would want to learn from him how I can improve.
Right.
And I kind of felt like she said like Sophie said, she said she basically was saying like she needs help with it. But then when he gives his opinion, she says, well, we'll see about that. Well, like she didn't like what he was saying. So my thing is like, you gotta, okay, do you want to work on it or not? You
Right.
might
You got
need
to pick your
an
battles.
allowance for a little while if you have to take a credit card to be able to go on vacation.
Hmm.
So I think maybe like like Dr. Ponytail says, you trying to sweep things under the rug and act like you don't see it. So I think there's certain things she does see, but she's trying, like, part of her doesn't want to fix it. Maybe part of her likes the dishes in the sink and the messy house. That's her habitat. Like, so I don't know. I don't know about that whole
No, I
finance
agree.
thing.
Now that was a mixed signal to me because she said, I need to grow up. She did say, and I was like, okay, they're both being honest, and sometimes I need to grow up. But then she's like, well, I don't want you to, and he's like, well, do you mind if I take over the finances? And she could even say, okay, why don't you help me and take over the finances for 6 months, and we work on this together, and then I'll get my own or something. But don't tell this man all this information. Say you need to grow up, and then
Yeah.
say, "Oh well, I don't know about that because I'm gonna have to sleep on that because now it sounds like you're giving me an allowance." You shouldn't have told him
Mhm.
anything in the first place. You should have just
Yeah.
relaxed on it. I totally agree with you, Sophie. I would never do that. She should have said, "Okay, well, we'll look at the finances when we get home." That's it. And this is
And
also good.
why did she call it an allowance and not a budget? It's like she's so stuck in her head that somebody is trying to control
To
her or
rule
do
over her.
something.
Yep.
Like, why an allowance? You're not a kid. You don't need
Right.
an allowance. It's
But
called
I think
budgeting. You're an adult.
she struggles with that. I think that she is struggling with the growing up. And I also, the insecurities that I was talking about earlier, it's so funny because she really wants to bring up, we talked about what we have in common, but let's talk about what we don't have in common. Let's talk about some of the things that we'll have trouble with, what we're going to argue about. This man, what did he say? Oh, well, you like black coffee and I like cream in my coffee. Like this man is in. Like he does not want to hear any of that yet. Like he does not care about that stuff. He's like, listen, we're doing great right now. This is our honeymoon. And he wants to do that stuff, absolutely, because we know that it will get to that. But he likes you. And just own that,
Mhm.
this man likes you and he's interested. And people will put up with a lot if they're truly interested. And that's what we were talking about with Myrla and Gil. She ain't putting up with nothing because she's not
Yeah.
really liking him. But
Hmm.
what's the name? Little man,
Jose.
Jose, because he likes her. He's trying to help her with it. He's not trying to rule over her, but in her head, she's like, uh-oh. She's not owned her, not just her pretty yet, but she's not stepping into her fine excellence yet. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. She needs to get out of her own way. So Chindy says she needs an allowance. She has a savings account that she doesn't grow. Yes, yeah, she does need an allowance, but mm-mm, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. And then yes, Tia, she is starting to sabotage their relationship, which is something she said she has done in the past. Poor thing. I totally agree. And this is gonna be, and it's obvious that if this goes downhill, it looks like it's gonna be her fault, and I don't want to, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm also getting Eric and Virginia vibes, but not, um, yeah,
I totally get Virginia vibes from her because she had this whole thing with Jose about what was it? I don't know. She was talking and it's like I just heard Virginia. I'm like, this is Virginia and Eric. I don't think Jose is as bad as Eric because with Eric, Virginia up in the basement and just leave her there for seven
yeah,
days. So I don't think it's as bad as Eric as far as with Jose, but with Virginia, how Virginia wanted to still do certain things and have her independence. She doesn't want to move into a house that's your house because that's already your house and I want it to be like it was
You're right.
literally like mirroring each other.
Virginia. And I thought this is
So
crazy.
yeah.
Like, just he probably is, and I don't think he's as bad as Eric either. I think that Eric and even Eric couldn't even explain himself. Like, Jose seems to really explain himself really well and say, "Well, let me help you. Let's work together." Eric just kept saying, "You're married. Stop saying that." No. Um, and it was really obvious that Virginia was going to be a kept woman, where it doesn't look like that's what he's trying to do with Rachel. So yeah, this is
Mhm.
going to be very interesting. Hmm.
All right, should we get into Johnny and Bao?
Yes, this is our last one. Yes, Johnny and Val.
Okay, I'm like I really want them to work, so I get so irritated with Bao because I'm like there's these moments like she's like a buzz killer at like because this man poured his heart out to you, feelings mutual. Girl, what? If you don't like this man was you can see the nerves inside of him. Like he really went out of his way for her. And for her, it's like I totally picked up on that self-sabotaging thing. We
That's
finally
why I
get
left
rid of the
self-sabotage.
damn
Yeah, that's why I left it
yeah.
up there. Hmm.
We she finally gets rid of that damn pillow. And then she wants to take that moment to talk about summer camp as a teenager, and she stayed up for 5 days at a time because she didn't want people to hear her. I was like, Bow, how loud is the snoring? Like, can we get a recording? Because is the snoring that loud? Is it that loud? I
And
understand it's the insecurity, but I just really think she's sensitive. Like overall, even when she keeps claiming Johnny ghosted her, that man did not ghost you.
yeah,
You
he
were
didn't
not
ghost you.
dating. You did not have a romantic connection. You shooted your shot, he didn't catch it. So that's all that happened. There was no reason to save those text messages. There's no reason to keep bringing that up, but you want to get on Johnny for constantly bringing up the snoring. But I will say, a joke is funny the first time. It loses its comedic relief the more you keep telling it. So yes, it was funny the first night, Johnny, but I don't think he needs to keep having all these snoring references every single morning that she wakes up. But yeah, I wish Bao kind of gives me Ryan vibes in a sense where I feel like she's 50% present but 50% back in her like insecurities. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now.
Val is going to sabotage herself, and
Yes.
she is gonna put her sabotage herself back into the friend zone. And this picnic was so telling because he's in Johnny, sorry, Johnny is the consummate, just honest man. He said he was being so honest, and he's like, "I really like you." Like you could tell he was choking up, and I
So
know that it was
transparent.
so transparent. I know it was a little bit of editing because then they go to the commercial and they say, "Well, the feeling's mutual," but I think that was. I hope she said more than that. But at the same time, after that, he followed up with, why is it that sometimes you're hot and cold? And then they
Mhm.
go to the bed, and I said, this is exactly what he's talking about. Like, why is it
Mhm.
that he can't read you? Because if you're feeling the same way he is, you need to let this man know, because he is. And we all thought, I was like, okay, she's touching him, she's caressing him. He was honest and said, I like physical touch. She's giving it to him, and he didn't even want the sex. He said, I just want to make out with my wife. I just want to do more than just a peck. And this, now I agree with you. But I do definitely think he's joking. You can't try to kick the man out of the bed because you're extra sensitive about your snoring. You're snoring. This is not something you can do. You Because you're snoring, You're not going to go in another room. He didn't mind getting headphones. He'll get earplugs or nose strips or whatever, but you're not going to go into another room. And then she brings up that she didn't sleep for a week. And I said, you are so conscious of how you are to other people that you are yourself nervous and giving yourself insomnia because you are worried about how you sound and look to other people. Yes, to her it's like it's not that attractive, and she wants to put her best foot forward for him, and she wants to look her best and be presented as her best person. And I was like, Johnny, she's sensitive about it. Stop teasing her about it. That's it. You just stop teasing her about it. But at the same time, that was a total buzzkill. Like, you sure you don't want your pillow back? No, he didn't want the pillow in the first place. And I said, are you not reading the signals?
That's what
Okay,
I
so
mean. She's like half there, half not. I'm like, girl, you put the pillow there. It was your idea. Well, you said you
yes,
had a body pillow. Yeah, when he was single, he said he
right.
had a body pillow.
Yeah, the
I'm
body
like,
pillow. Now that I'm married, he's like, you can replace my body pillow. That's what he said. And I said, Val, so because you're in fifth grade at camp and you are afraid of your snoring, I'm if it's that bad, like nobody's gonna tease you about it. Probably the other people snore too. That's the thing. They probably, if you're in them bunks, they everybody snores. It's okay. Or if not everybody snores, but you know what I mean. It's not that bad. So yeah, this is gonna be very interesting if she keeps doing all these little things to sabotage herself and he keeps trying and she keeps putting the wall right back up. Like it's like she'll put the wall down and she'll put it right back up a little bit. And Johnny's like, oh gosh. So Tia said perhaps Val feels that Johnny didn't want her in the past. Why does he want her now? Perhaps she just doesn't feel sure he really likes her. But then he did a picnic with
yeah,
prosecco.
that was her reassurance.
Yes, and he
I
made
just,
sure.
yeah.
And then he bought her that top that was 4 sizes too big for her. And that's another thing, doing something
Why
for
did they
somebody
put that? Why did they put her? She's at least an extra small, a
extra
small. Why
small
did they
or
put
a
her in a
size
two
zero.
X?
Yeah, I thought it was so
Why?
funny. And I was like, I said, and well, truthfully, that was just like an excerpt, an extra piece of footage that they're like, oh, let's put this in here. But I'm like, why are they doing this? And so that shirt, and then talk about complaining. Val says, "Oh, you forgot to take the price tag off it. Oh,
Oh
you
my
paid full price
god.
for this? I'm so disappointed." I'm like, "Relax, relax." So, and I said, "You know what? The fact is, though, she put the shirt on, and I'm like, this is something for Myrla. Next time, I'm like, listen, just put it on. Just put it on. Like I said, she put the shirt on. She'll probably keep that shirt forever. Put a long belt over that thing and wear it another time. Like at least, and I said, these are those little things that people appreciate. Going back to the Haley and Jacob thing, like he's like, just bring the bracelet with you. Just bring it with you. Just like care a little bit. She's not going to probably ever wear that shirt from a gift shop in the Florida Keys, like them way overpriced gift shops at resorts. But she
Like
did it.
where would he find some consignment shop? Like what do you mean you paid full price? Where was he gonna get a coupon from?
And
Where
I thought that was so funny. Like
I can't.
there's no sale rack at the gift shop, but
Then the bathing suits. When she was talking about she just walks around in bathing suits and Johnny's like, do
yes,
you
that's
have a
what we wanted
pool?
to get back to.
He said, do you have a pool? No. And I
No.
was like, girl, what are you doing?
But it's the funny thing is that she walks around in them all the time. She's like, well, and I said, okay, so you are confident about your body, but then you don't go anywhere to show it off. That's the funny thing. Oh, I just walk around in bathing suits all day. I'm like, and I said, okay, some of the smartest people, a lot of nerds have these weird quirks. They're just have these
Hmm.
weird quirks. Like, and I get like I have bathing suits that are a couple bathing suits that I haven't worn yet, but still, I'm like, you just do a lot of these different weird quirks. So Tia, yes, Bao's feelings of doubt might not be rational or logical. Human beings are messy and confusing. I do agree. Like she's just, and to be so regimented, a lot of the people that are so regimented are a little messy and confusing and have these just weird quirks. Yeah.
Right.
hmm Yeah, just a whole bunch. She collects bathing suits. Yeah. But see, he is physically attracted to his wife. He is like, and I was like, this girl is a size 0, but he's like, oh, my wife's got a great ass. And I was like, okay.
If you see it, that's all that matters.
Listen, that's all that matters. And I said, Johnny needs those affirmations because he's like, they're both skinny. They were both like literally perfect match for each other. They're both perfect match for each other. And he's like, oh, and her deal breaker, or what do you call it? Her hall pass is Conan O'Brien. I'm like, Conan O'Brien. He is very lanky. You're right. If then
Yeah.
Johnny is perfect for you because he is just long and lanky.
Ooh, child.
Johnny is trying hard. Bao is too uptight, but I think they will make it. Yeah, I do too. Bao is so insecure about herself, and it's coming off into the relationship. It is, and if she, it's just like Tia said, if she doesn't stop and just be more secure and more confident in herself, she's gonna sabotage herself. She's gonna sabotage herself. Yeah.
So let's get into, so at the end of the episode, there was the clip where Johnny and Johnny's basically like, I don't understand why you can't just rinse off. And Bal's like, well, it's not a priority for me to take a shower or bathe or whatever she was saying. So people are like, wait, Bao don't take baths. Like, what is going on? Like, and I think she's already insecure and sensitive. That's going to be another blow, I think, to her, because now this man is telling you, get your butt in the
In the
shower.
shower. She is so afraid of judgment, and but
Mhm.
then with a relationship, you're going to have to, again, like I said, break down these walls. You're going to have to tell him about yourself, and telling him this, she's like, okay, I don't, now I really want to know what the actual conversation is it just because of COVID and you've been in the house and you are only doing it 3 times a week, or you just, that's how it
But they're
always
in
been. But the
Florida.
weird,
They're in Florida
true
Keys. It
point.
has to be
I
hot
hope
and
it's not
humid there.
this. No, I hope it's not this week. Oh, she's been even the littlest person is funky. And, oh my gosh, I've been in Miami. It's just it's it's sticky and hot. So um,
Right.
I'm hoping that there's more to this. I was like, is this water conservation because of who she is? I'm like, what is going on with you just not taking showers? And I didn't like her answer. Like I said, if it was water conservation or if it's,
Yeah, she said it's not a priority.
she said it's not a
So I
priority.
think
That's weird to
I
me.
think she's too busy making them spreadsheets. She don't have time to take a shower. So I think she'd rather be making her spreadsheets, clipping coupons and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's just, I don't want to say laziness, but she just doesn't see it as a priority, which is like weird. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
those people that those conservationists, those people that only do it like 3 times a week. But she said it's just not a priority, and I said this is weird. Like, tell me more, because and I know that
Mhm.
nerds have a certain quirk. And I was watching the Bald and the Beautiful, Mrs. Kev on stage. She said that she collects bathing suits, and she said actually they went somewhere and she had brought all these bathing suits and it rained the whole time, so she didn't get a chance to put them on.
Oh my
But
God.
that's one answer. But the shower thing, I just want to know more. Like, is this just this year? Like what's, because you've been stuck in the house, or is there a reason behind, you just not a priority? It's just a weird answer. It's interesting.
I
It's
don't think I don't think she's ready for Johnny's assertiveness. I don't think she's not secure enough in herself for that. So
And she's
I'm
not
just
as
hoping she doesn't self-sabotage or shut down because yeah,
because
it's rough. That's rough.
she doesn't like the judgment and she needs the approval, especially from Johnny. So this is gonna be very interesting conversation. And it's almost like if this is something that she's always done before COVID, then she's just gonna be doing it because she doesn't want to seem dirty to him.
Mhm.
Because he's a neat freak. He's a not a neat freak. He said he's a germaphobe. Germaphobe.
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, child.
Yes, Tia, there is all these people that are confessing, and I just stopped even watching it. Yeah, these people confessing that they don't bathe daily, that would be a
Hmm.
deal breaker for sure. Yeah, and like and like The Rock saying that he takes 3 showers a day. But that's a big man. He should take three showers a day. He
And
should.
he does all them workouts. He needs
Yes,
to take a shower.
exactly, exactly. And I wonder
Mm-mm.
if it's like I'm sure that relationships some people that are depressed sometimes don't take showers. I don't know. I'm not trying to diagnose her. I'm not a psychologist.
That is
But
true. That you have a good point with that. That is
but
true. Because if her summer camp memories of staying up in the night is making her curl up into a ball in the bed as a grown woman, I think there's things that she's still battling. And I think she was the one that talked, yeah, she was the same one that talked about being new to America and not knowing English and having to keep walking after she got off the school bus so no one would know where she lives.
was
So
that
I
her or was
think
that Myrla? Was that her or was that Myrla?
that
Either
was
way.
Val, I
Okay.
thought.
Okay. Well, we're going
And
to find that out.
so I was just like, yeah, I think she has a lot of things bottled up inside of her that,
Hmm.
and I don't think, and her way of handling it, her sensitivity, I don't think Johnny can or will know, or like, yes, he can try to be subtle or whatever, but he seems very assertive, but I just don't think he's equipped to handle all of that.
Yeah. How is he going to navigate this? How is he going to talk to her and can he make her feel more comfortable about it? Because he was trying to get a little bit close, and she wants to talk about her, like you said, summer camp. And he's like, now I just don't want to. He's like, I just want to roll over and go to sleep at this point. Like he's so, and maybe that's what happens the next morning. They talk about more, open up a little bit more, and then she talks about not bathing and stuff. It's just I really hope she's bathing in the Florida Keys. Like that's just crazy. But that's
It
yeah.
doesn't sound like it because he said, "Can you at least rinse off?" So I don't know. Maybe he meant the pool because rinsing off is not even. That sounds like I don't want to. They call it bird bath or
No,
whatever, but
okay.
I don't know if it was from the chlorine from the pool, and maybe she went in the pool and just kept
Yeah.
her bathing suit on and kept walking around. But he said rinse off, so that kind of makes me think maybe they were laying out and he's like, just go wash off, like wash. You know how people say you smell like outside, so maybe
Yes. No,
that's
you're
what
right.
it was.
Well, and I'm wondering, like, is she taking a horse bath? What we call a horse bath, where you the
Yes,
armpits and the privates, or is
yeah.
she doing? Is it in? And so, everybody, we're gonna find out, next week what is the pretext to this conversation, because even if you don't bathe, or even if you don't shower or take a bath, you at least have to take a horse bath. That would, and I'm sorry if but that's what my mother used to call it, a horse bath. So they call it something else, I think, but you would at least have to do that. So I'm just wondering to what extent and what's the pretext of all this that conversation, because that is interesting, and I hope even but on vacation especially you'd have to take a bath. This is very interesting.
And this is a new person. This is a new spouse. Like I would be extra.
I would
I
too.
don't know, conscious of like, yeah, I don't know.
A
Maybe
whole
I'm
bath.
just
Yes.
Belle's
Leaf pepper. Leaf
Belle's
pepper. That's
head is somewhere else. Yep, whole
yes.
bath.
Yeah, a whole bath. That's exactly what we used to call it, a whole bath. So yeah, I'm hoping that it's a little bit of editing. They have done some editing. They've done some editing with Myrla. They've done some editing with Bao. The whole it's a mutual feeling. That picnic was edited a little bit. I could tell, but I don't know to what extent that picnic
Mhm.
was edited. But this is going to be very interesting. It's just like like I said, some of these nerds they have big quirks. They have a lot of quirks. You've got spreadsheets. You got to schedule in time to bathe. You got to
Mhm.
hmm hmm and that's what I'm like. You mean even me working from home in this last over a year and a half? You roll out of bed, you go and you start work, but then I'm like, okay, let me go take a shower. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know. So we're gonna find out what this whole pretext is for the non-bathing thing. I don't like the answer. Oh, it's just not a priority. That's just weird. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. But she has enough money to take daily showers. Plus, she is at a hotel. Exactly. Is it? It doesn't sound like it's water conservation.
No, it sounds like a choice. Like she's choosing to put other things before that. And I don't know if she's like Myrla, like working through this honeymoon as well. So I'm like, or is she just doing the spreadsheet of what outfit she's gonna wear throughout the day? I
Myrla
don't
is a
know what
consultant.
she could
She made a
possibly be
couple of phone
doing.
calls and she was not, she was being antisocial. That's my opinion. But
Yeah,
but I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, all these spreadsheets and yeah, I don't know. This is it's going to be very interesting because, and I'm sure I was going to say Johnny's got some quirks too. Well, we haven't found Johnny's just a cool guy, and but at the same
hmm
time, I think that she has in the back of her head, she's waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like he can't be perfect. Like if we were so perfect for each other, why didn't we meet up 10 years ago? Honestly, she was judging him then. She said, "Oh, well,
hmm
he's a ladies' man." She thought that she thought he was out of her league then. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Yep.
Even with the comment when she was like, "Well, he said he has to go on 100 dates. He wouldn't have had to if he would have just returned my text." And it's like, "Bow, get
Get
over it,
over it.
my
Get over
goodness."
it. And I think that she was actually considering, I bet you she's been on 100 dates too, because she sounds like that. Like
hmm
once a guy wasn't uh, up to her par or something that she found that she didn't like, she was like, on to the next. And it's probably very easy. And this time, swipe left, swipe right. And so on to the next. Yeah, that was very.
Yeah,
Is that everybody? We
yeah,
covered
is
Warren and
it
we covered Brett and
little
Ryan,
man?
Little Man
Yep.
and Rachel. Thank you guys. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. This was very, very detailed. We spent, of course, as you know, we spent a long time on the Myrla and Gil show. Um, I think that there's going to be more to stay tuned for the Myrla and Gil show.
hmm
Hopefully, we'll see a little bit. I'm sure we're going to see a little more tape of what's his name? Michaela and Zach. That's why it was so quick because we kind of sped through them because it wasn't. But the hurricane's coming. It's a light drizzle right now. And that was editing too. A little bit of that was editing. You could see when the camera was gonna coming towards her. Well, where's my bait? Well, what about my bathing suits? And the camera kept doing these little things. I said that was a little bit of that was editing too. No, I agree. My Johnny is not perfect. Johnny's not perfect. We haven't seen him, but he's got some issues.
Yeah.
He's got some issues.
He's
Yeah.
not perfect, but I do like his assertiveness. I do because there are a lot of men, they have issues with communication and expressing
Yes.
themselves. So what I will say, Johnny has issues, and I think he's aware of his issues. And I don't think he tries, like, I don't think his issues are holding him back, like Bao. So I appreciate that about Johnny, that he's assertive. He let her know at the wedding dinner, I need affection. I like that's something that I need. And Bao says, "Oh, thank you for telling me that," and then she gonna put the pillow there. So it's like, but I really like
I do
Johnny.
too.
You
I
know,
really like Johnny, and we
yeah,
see talking about this that he is so transparent, as we've all said. He's so transparent. He is so honest, and he's also like when he sees something that he thinks is that he's side eyeing. He's like, so what's with the sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're cold. Like he's honest, and he does like to joke around, and I think he's also noticing. And we're just like, pick your battles. She doesn't like to be teased about the snoring because if you tease her again, you ain't getting back in this bed. So just relax on it. So he needs to pick his battles. But other than that, they're the only one I'm betting on right now. They're right now.
but Bao, even did you see the way Johnny's eyes lit up when she was like expressing like the snoring jokes hurt her feelings, and he was like, where
Right?
did that come from? Me?
Yes, because
And it's like
he knew it was a joke. Because it was a joke.
yeah,
It was absolutely a joke. But she's like, so he's like, what? The snoring, like, and to him, he'll make a joke, and he probably forgot all about it and she's probably been agonizing it over it all day. To him, it was a
mm.
joke. So yeah,
Yeah, and how about that? When she woke up the second day, comparing her to a lamb or a sheep or whatever it was, she laughed and she joked, and then by the end of the night, she's curled up in a ball, talking about that really hurt her feelings. So yeah, I think I understand more and more the self-sabotage because there was no reason to. It's like she understood the intent, she understood that it was a joke, but she still wanted to be in her feelings about it.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Like
He
I'll
said there
take
were like
Johnny
ants or
get over
rodents.
me. She ain't ready.
Yeah, there were ants or rodents, and she was like, "Oh my gosh!" She actually believed him that they're ants and rodents, and he was joking. He was joking, but to me, um, she was taking it in stride. She looked like she was taking it in stride, but it really did offend her. And I'm like, Johnny, you need to relax on it. It's just, but to me, I'm like, and she's like, it's not attractive, it's not ladylike, she said. And even though she may have a point, that's your husband now. Like, he's okay to joke with you, and he's really trying to find that that happy medium where I can joke with her and where we can communicate. And if she keeps bringing back those walls, it's going to be kind of hard because he'll shut down. I think that he'll start to lose himself trying to, because he's a fun guy. He wants to have a good
Yeah,
time. So, yeah, I think that we all love us some Johnny, and we hope that this works out. We hope that this works out. Yeah. That's it. So
yeah,
thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys sticking with us for an hour and 37 minutes. This was a lot of fun. We will be back on Sunday.
yeah.
Put a ring on it. Yeah, you know
Messy.
the deal with put a ring on it. The mess is real, child. The mess is it's, and we got some tea for you for put a ring on it. So yeah, it's a lot, but it's going to be a lot of interesting conversation around put a ring on it. So thank you
Yeah.
guys so much. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels, Crystal Annette on YouTube and Misha Allen on YouTube. I've got several things coming up. A whole thing on forgiveness and the power of no. So stay tuned for that, and a show on colorism coming up. So thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, Misha.
Thank you guys. But yeah, everything that Crystal said. So make sure you subscribe to both of our channels, like the live, and come and tune in with us on Sunday and get the tea on what is going on.
Yes.